Hey there everyone and welcome to Coding Owls in this third video in JS, ES6 and beyond tutorial series. In this video we will understand the most important thing brought up in ES6, the arrow functions. Okay, so what's happening here is that I have created another folder hash2 inside our project folder and I have opened it in Visual Studio Code. I have also changed the directory inside our command prompt to hash2 inside our project JS ES6 folder. And I have created a file index.js and created 4 functions inside it. The first one is a normal function which takes 2 parameters and returns the sum of the 2 values. The second function takes single parameters and returns the square of the value. The third function doesn't take any parameters and thus it returns only a random value. And the fourth one is actually a add event listener function which uses an anonymous function as a callback function. So we will understand arrow functions by actually applying and converting these functions into arrow functions. So let us begin with the first one, which takes 2 parameters. I'll just copy it and then convert it into an arrow function. So the first thing that you do to convert a function into an arrow function is to remove this function keyword. We are doing this because an arrow function is assumed to be a function itself and we does not need to explicitly declare that it is a function. But we need to have a variable to store the arrow function. So we'll make this let sum is equals to this function because we need to know that our arrow function has some name. In a normal function, it is already creating a variable for the function and we do not need to do explicitly. But in an arrow function, we have to do this by ourselves. So to convert this function into an arrow functions, we have to put a fat arrow here, and this is nothing just a equals to and a less than symbol. Now, to make it more concise, if this is a single line, listen to me carefully, if this is a single line function, we can get rid of this return and this parenthesis and it will automatically assume that the value after this fat arrow has to be returned. Now let's convert the function with a single parameter into an arrow function. So first thing is that we copy it, we paste it, we get rid of this function keyword, we make a variable and store the function, we put fat arrow notation and that's it. Now we get rid of this return, the parenthesis and make it single line. Now if the function is taking only single value as an argument or it is singly parameterized, we can get rid of these brackets too and now see how concise it has become. Let us also convert the third function, which is taking no parameters, into an arrow function. We'll do the same thing, copy it, paste it, get rid of the function keyword, and create a variable to store the function, put the fat arrows and get rid of this parenthesis and the return and make it single line. So you have to put the parenthesis to these brackets if you are not passing any parameters. You can only get rid of this brackets only if it is a singly parameterized function. Now let's see what actually are anonymous functions in arrow function. Well, this is the real use and it makes it really concise. Now see, if you're adding an event listener, you have to pass a function to it. So I'm adding an event listener for an hover event. So I have to pass an anonymous function which is actually a callback function which prints hovered when the function or the event is triggered. Now if I want to do this with arrow functions, all I have to do is get rid of this function keyword and put this fat arrow, and I can also get rid of these things. So now it's simply saying this is what's going to happen. Now see, I can declare the event in a single line and it is concise, it is understandable. I'm not doing this in a hodgepodge kind of stuff. Now this might not be the real use of arrow functions. Yes, it makes the code concise, but it's still a lot of work. And what if the code is multi-line? We are not having any advantages over normal functions. But then Yes, ES6 brought upon arrow function as a big changes, and it is an important feature in ES6, so we'll see what's the difference. The biggest advantage that ES6 arrow functions brought upon was the context binding, and we will understand it using this code. So I have created a class named awesome, inside which I have a constructor which takes the value and set it to this.value. It has two functions, print value and print arrow. Print value prints the value of this.value every 2 seconds based on a normal function, while print arrow prints the value of this.value every 2 seconds based on an arrow function. So I have to tell you a lot if I keep telling you, and then that, let's write the code and see how this class runs. So let's call an object for this awesome class and then call the functions. So awesome.print value and awesome.print arrow. So basically we're calling these two functions one by one, and they will print the value of this.value every 2 seconds. Now save this file and go to command prompt and run the file node space index.js. If I hit enter, you'll see after 2 seconds the both print. Ooh, what's the mistake? Well, I didn't pass anything to our class, so I'll give the value of coding else, and I will save it and then run the same node space index.js and hit enter. So now you'll see that there is one undefined and one coding else. What actually happening here is that the print value, which takes the normal function, is not printing any value. Rather, the arrow function, which is the print arrow, the second one, is printing the value. This is because the context binding in the normal function is based on where the function was called. So the function is called in the global scope, and that's why the value of this, the context, is actually global. This is not a code, I'm just writing it to make you understand this. So, but in the arrow function, it automatically binds the constructors, the class this into the function, and that's why it is printing the value. For instance, if I do not call this and just simply print the this.value here, you'll see it says undefined, and this is because in global scope the value of this.value is undefined, and that's the reason we are having the trouble in the print value function. And thus arrow function become more important when it comes to context binding. So guys, this is pretty much it for this video. We'll understand more about JS and ES6 in the upcoming videos. If you have not subscribed our channel yet, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. Also hit the bell icon so that you can get notified of our upcoming videos. And as always, thanks for watching.